What if the most talented singer of a generation was intentionally being kept from the spotlight by the very people paid to promote her? It's a question that has haunted the music industry since 2014, when an 8-year-old girl with the voice of a jazz legend captivated the world. But as we move through 2026, the mystery surrounding Angelina Jordan has reached a fever pitch. For those who remember her viral rise, the current silence from mainstream radio feels like a glitch in the system. How does a prodigy with billions of views suddenly become a ghost in the Hollywood machine? To understand what happened, we have to look past the sparkling stage lights and into the dark corners of industry contracts. While most artists are fighting for a scrap of attention on social media, Angelina seems to have retreated into a shadow world. Some call it a career collapse, others call it a tactical withdrawal. But our investigation suggests something far more calculated is happening behind the scenes. We've seen child stars struggle before, but Angelina's trajectory isn't following the usual downward spiral of burnout or public meltdowns. Instead, there's a deliberate wall of silence being built around her brand. Is she hiding from the fame, or is the fame being hidden from us? As we peel back the layers of her recent movements, a pattern of defiance begins to emerge, one that pits a young visionary against the most powerful executives in the business. The Barefoot Queen may have traded her shoes for a seat at a much more dangerous table, and the consequences of that choice are only now starting to surface in 2026. Behind the closed doors of one of the world's largest record labels, a battle for the soul of an artist was reportedly being fought in total secrecy. In 2020, the news broke that Angelina Jordan had signed with Republic Records, the powerhouse behind superstars like Taylor Swift and Drake. It was supposed to be the launchpad for a global takeover. Yet for 4 years, the momentum seemed to stall. Our sources indicate that the creative differences cited in industry whispers were actually a full-scale war over her identity. The label allegedly wanted a polished, high-energy pop star, a Gen Z Adele with a radio-friendly sheen. But Angelina refused to play the part. Rumors began to circulate that her debut projects were being shelved indefinitely because she wouldn't compromise on her signature vintage sound. This period of her life is often referred to by fans as the silent era, a time when she was legally bound by a contract that prevented her from releasing the music she actually wanted to make. It's a classic velvet cage scenario. She had the prestige of a major label, but she lacked the freedom to speak. In the high-stakes world of music publishing, being shelved is often a death sentence for a career, intended to break an artist's spirit until they comply with the corporate vision. But Angelina isn't like most artists. Instead of breaking, she began to find loopholes. The tension reached a breaking point by 2024, leading to a quiet but massive shift in her management. While the mainstream press ignored the internal friction, the signs were all there. She was preparing for a prison break from the traditional industry model, and the fallout from that split would change her career forever. While the world waited for a lead single that never came, Angelina Jordan was secretly building a multi-million-dollar music empire right under the industry's nose. By the time 2026 rolled around, the landscape of her career had shifted entirely. No longer relying on the gatekeepers of the big three labels, Angelina took her talents directly to the fans. She partnered with legendary hitmaker Toby Gad, but on her own terms. This collaboration resulted in the ambitious Secret Trilogy, a series of albums titled Secret of the Soul, Secret of the Star, and the March 2026 release Secret of Love. What makes this era so shocking isn't just the music but the distribution. These wasn't a standard rollout, it was a grassroots movement. She began utilizing private digital platforms and high-tier memberships to bypass the algorithms that often suppress independent artists. Despite the lack of Billboard promotion, her numbers in 2026 are staggering. She has cultivated a shadow audience, a massive, loyal fanbase that operates outside the traditional metrics of success. This move has reportedly left major label executives fuming, as she proved that an artist of her caliber doesn't actually need the corporate machine to thrive. However, this independence has come at a price. We've noticed a strange trend. Despite her massive sales and sold-out digital events, she is rarely mentioned in mainstream awards conversations or late-night talk show circuits. It raises a chilling question about the gatekeeper effect. Is Angelina being intentionally excluded from the mainstream as a warning to other artists who might think about going independent? The 2026 Secret albums are a masterclass in artistic survival, but they also highlight the invisible walls that still exist in the modern music business. When Angelina Jordan announced her 2026 residency at the legendary Westgate in Las Vegas, many industry insiders expected it to fail. But what actually happened inside that theater has become the stuff of legend. In January 2026, the Barefoot Queen returned to the stage in a way no one expected. The International Theater, a venue once graced by Elvis Presley, became her new home. But this wasn't the typical Vegas spectacle with dancers and pyrotechnics. It was a raw, stripped-back experience that focused entirely on her haunting vocals. Reports from the ground suggest the shows were sold out months in advance, yet curiously there was almost zero coverage from major entertainment news outlets. This media blackout has fueled intense speculation that Angelina has been unofficially blacklisted by major media conglomerates. The theory is that her refusal to follow the industry script made her a liability to the status quo. If a young woman can sell out a Vegas residency without a major label's help, it threatens the entire foundation of how the music business operates. During our investigation, we spoke to fans who traveled from across the globe to see the 2026 shows, and their stories are consistent. The energy in that room was unlike anything in modern pop. It felt like a revolution. There are even whispers that she's being scouted for a permanent global tour that would bypass traditional promoters entirely. While the blacklisting rumors have never been officially confirmed, the absence of her name from the 2026 headlines speaks volumes. She is currently the most successful hidden artist on the planet, proving that you don't need to be on the news to be the biggest story in the world. The Vegas residency wasn't just a comeback, it was a declaration of war against the people who tried to silence her. As we look at the state of her career in late 2026, we have to ask ourselves, did the industry fail Angelina Jordan or did she successfully escape it? The story of the girl who sang Gloomy Sunday and Barefoot has come full circle. At 20 years old, Angelina is no longer a child prodigy to be gawked at. She is a sophisticated, independent mogul who has redefined what it means to be a star. While critics might point to her lack of recent top 40 hits as a sign of decline, the financial and creative reality tells a very different story. She owns her masters, she controls her image, and she has a direct line to her audience that no executive can cut. In the cutthroat world of 2026, where artists are often treated like disposable content, Angelina's decision to value her integrity over a quick TikTok hit looks more brilliant by the day. She has successfully navigated the Prodigy curse that has claimed so many others. There are no reports of substance issues or legal troubles that typically plague former child stars. Instead, there is only a quiet, intense focus on the craft. But the mystery remains, will she ever return to the mainstream or has she burned those bridges for good? Some believe a massive reconciliation with a major player is coming in 2027, while others think she's content to remain the queen of the underground. Whatever the case, Angelina Jordan has proven that the most powerful thing an artist can do is say no. She survived the industry's attempts to mold her, and in doing so she became something far more dangerous to the system, a free woman with a voice that cannot be ignored. The world may still be asking what happened to her, but for those who are truly listening, the answer is louder than it's ever been.